New York City Mayor Eric Adams just went on the Flagrant podcast with Andrew Schulz, and guess what? He's basically admits the Biden administration has completely botched the border crisis.
We need to make sure that we send the right message that you can't have a revolving door system. So let's talk about the migrants.
Yep.
So out of nowhere, we started getting in a large flow of migrants. Now, this is a city of immigrants. And, and it's a city that has always been open to immigrants. There's a reason that the Statue of Liberty sits in our harbor.
Sanctuary city, right?
Right. It's a sanctuary city.
Which is another separate issue. I think what you're saying, like culturally, migrants aren't like shocking to New Yorkers. I always tell people this, like you can't even tell who the migrant is. But continue, yeah.
So we started getting in busloads, and
by design, right? Like this is political
from Texas.
play.
It was coming from Texas, but it was the failure that we didn't secure our borders. We were allowing everyone to come into the country with unsecure borders, many gang members, very dangerous. When I went down to Ecuador, Colombia, and Mexico to look at the flow, there was a place called the Darien Gap. So I went down there to see why people coming and try to explain to the government that New York City, the streets are not paved with gold. Because everybody thinks you come to New York City, everything is fine.
Yeah, it's paved in rat shit.
Right. right. So
that might be a delicious meal.
Don't gross me out. Gotta be careful with that one either. Don't gross me out. I'm still gross out.
It's vegan.
We've got another dose of Democrat chaos coming straight from the so-called sanctuary city of New York, where the streets apparently are paved with golden rat crap, right from the mayor's own mouth. Eric Adams says it himself, we failed to secure our border. No kidding. Gang members, drug runners, dangerous individuals, just waltzing right in. But sure, let's all pretend that this is about compassion. You're just being heartless. No, we're being sane.
People got upset because they said, man, what you doing? You know, you letting everybody come into the city, you're paying for them.
Very reasonable.
Right. So what people didn't understand, I couldn't stop the buses from coming in. The federal law said you can, Eric. I couldn't even allow them to work. The federal law said you can't even allow them to work. And a group of migrants and asylum seekers came to me and said, listen, we want to contribute to the city. Let us remove graffiti. Let us clean the streets. Yeah. Give us a stipend. Federal law. Government said, you can't even do that. And the city law says everyone that comes here, you must give them 3 meals a day. You must house them.
That's the sanctuary city law.
Right.
But that wasn't built for migrants. It was built for our homeless population.
Exactly.
And hoping that you would take people from the homelessness, you know, going through a rough time, and then they would be housed.
Without a doubt. Over 40 years in existence.
Yeah.
And so
it's kind of unfortunate that that was taken advantage of like that. And it was done, in my opinion, and I'd like to hear your opinions, but I think it was like a political tool specifically done to make more liberal-leaning cities seem uninhabitable.
Yeah, and I think the message was, because it should not happen to, when I went down to El Paso, they should not have had to have gone through that.
No,
Brownsville,
they shouldn't either.
Texas, right. No one should have to
growing
go
up in
through
Texas, they feel like New Yorkers, LA, whatever, they judge you a lot, especially New York, but y'all don't deal with what we deal with. Now see how you like it.
I don't know if I agree with it.
I
think that's fair too. It's like a lot of times New Yorkers or even people in like different parts of California, but like these coastal elitist cities, they're just kind of like, yeah, just don't, building a wall is bad. Don't secure the border. How dare you? And it's like, we're not dealing with it. So who are we to say what the issue is?
And so where they went wrong, where the governor of Texas went wrong, is that we were saying, hey, we hear you. Let's collaborate together and send that message. Not just, listen, I'm not going to punish another municipality because the federal government is screwing up. So when we reached out to them and said, listen, we're on the same page with you. Your city should not be going through this. Let's get together. Let's work together. No, I just want to.
So now this is the dunk culture we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
So get this. The illegal immigrants actually begged to help out. They wanted to clean graffiti, sweep the streets, do something. But the federal government told Eric Adams, nope, they're not even allowed to work. So let me get this straight. We're handing out 3 meals a day, free housing, free everything, but won't let them contribute. And then comes the red pill moment. Adams admits it. This whole thing politically engineered. The leftist policies backfiring in real time. He calls it a political tool designed to punish conservative states, but it ended up making liberal cities like New York unlivable. Nice job, guys. You played yourselves.
And I think at that moment you were like a surrogate in the Biden administration. Like you were
Right.
somebody who was like working with them. You were hand chosen, by the way. It's not like everybody's a surrogate.
Right, exactly.
You want one of the most powerful positions in the country, the mayor of New York, on your side if you're the administration. So you're like, if you go and extend yourself to a conservative governor and
Right.
say, let's work together, and they go, no, thank you, we're going to send the buses.
Exactly.
That's some
exactly.
cornball shit.
And so,
I don't like wheels. I'm not a fan.
and so we lost we lost an opportunity because when I went down to El Paso and I saw people sleeping on the streets in airports, I said, this is not right even for El Paso. My position was no city should take on a federal responsibility, and that was my advocacy. I went to Washington 10 times, to speak with the lawmakers. I met with the president twice, President Biden twice, around this issue, and his people were giving him misinformation. They were not being honest to him.
Who are his people? That's, I think, yeah. Who are his people? You think?
There were several people who was close that was in charge of this issue that was supposed to be giving him the right information. And I told him, I said, Mr. President,
Maybe they told him and he just forgot. He's a little old. You know what I mean?
It's possible. But I'm just curious about these people because that's what we've heard a lot about sometimes with the Biden administration. And I don't want to make this like a political thing, just this idea that maybe there were other people that were in his ear or making certain decisions that he might not have been privy to. Because if you spoke to him and he seemed like an amicable, nice guy who was understanding of what's going on, like, where's the disconnect here?
What's interesting in government, particularly on the federal level, people have their own agendas as well. And there was so much going on back then of people pushing back on the concept. There's some people with a philosophy that our borders should be open and any and everyone should be able to come in no matter what. I don't believe in that
As part
philosophy.
of government?
Right. Here's what I said to the administration.
Yeah.
I said, listen, no one should, right now, people were coming into the country.
Yeah.
Not knowing anyone in the country, not knowing where they're going.
Yeah.
I said, listen, we're having population problems. There are a lot of cities that are dealing with population issues. Let's tell people, we're going to tell you where you're going to go for 3 years. If Kentucky needs people to be backstretch workers to racing and work in the racing industry, you're going to Kentucky. After you do your 3 years, then you can go anywhere in the country and apply. This way we're connecting your need to be in America with the need that America needs.
It's a fantastic idea.
And we're controlling the flow. You're not coming in if you're part of a gang, which they were doing. They say, hey, the border's open.
Let's go.
So Eric Adams says he met with Biden twice, and that the president was either misinformed or just confused. Well then, doesn't that beg the obvious question? Who's really running the show? Unnamed advisors with open border ideologies, radical activists pulling the strings behind the scenes while Biden plays confused grandpa on national TV. If you're fed up with the sanctuary city disasters, open borders, and elite hypocrisies, then do something about it. Like, subscribe, and share this video with every patriot you know.